Today I'm going to tell you about one of the world's most incredible, most intimidating, and perhaps most deadly rock walls, the Trango Towers Mountains in Pakistan's Karakoram. These granite giants before your eyes are literally vertical towers shooting up into the sky. This place is not just a challenge for climbers, but even for athletes at the highest level of rock climbing. The Great Trango Tower boasts a nearly completely vertical granite face, rising a full 1,340 meters from base to summit. Imagine this, climbing straight up a 450-story skyscraper, but with no stairs, elevator, or safety measures to hold onto. Just you, the rocks, and the void. This is one of the longest vertical rock drops on Earth. If you drop a stone from the top, it will free fall for 1,340 meters. The Trango Towers complex is actually multiple towers. Great Trango, Trango Tower, also known as Nameless Tower, Trango Monk, Trango Pulpit. Each is a beast in its own right. However, the most famous and challenging is the west face of Great Trango. This wall is so steep that for decades before the first successful ascent, it was considered unclimbable. In 2004, German climbers Alexander and Thomas Huber achieved a historic feat. They free-climbed the Liternal Flame route. Free climbing means climbing using only your hands and feet, without any artificial aids. Ropes are only used for safety in case of a fall. This was the most difficult climb ever attempted on the Great Trango Wall at the time and marked a turning point in rock climbing history. However, Trango presented more than just technical challenges. The Karakoram's unpredictable weather conditions, sudden storms, and low temperatures also posed a constant threat. Furthermore, the isolated location of this region makes rescue operations nearly impossible in the event of an accident. If you make a mistake here, you often find yourself on the brink of death. No one can help you. Even today, the Trango Towers continue to attract the world's most elite climbers. Each year, only a handful of teams dare to challenge these massive granite walls. Some succeed, some are forced to turn back, and some never return. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, because now I'm going to introduce you to the world's deadliest mountains. If you're ready, let's continue this breathtaking journey. Translated with DeepL.com, free version. Annapurna in Nepal, at 8,091 meters, is the world's 10th highest mountain. It may be 10th in height, but it ranks first in terms of danger. Statistically, it is the deadliest 8,000-meter peak. Historically, with a death rate reaching 32%, Annapurna is a veritable killing field. The rate has dropped slightly in recent years but is still above 20%, meaning 1 in 6 climbers never returns. Annapurna's south face is one of the world's largest and most dangerous mountain faces, a nearly 3,000-meter vertical wall. On this route, constantly threatened by avalanches, you are never safe for even a second. The mountain's geological structure is so unstable that temperature changes cause huge blocks of ice and rock to break off. These blocks descend at speeds of tens of meters per second, sweeping away everything in their path. Maurice Herzog and Louis Lequesnel were the first people to climb Annapurna in 1950. It was also the first time anyone had reached a summit over 8,000 meters in history. However, victory came at a bitter price. They suffered severe frostbite during the descent. Herzog lost most of his fingers and toes, and Lequesnel's toes were amputated. Herzog later wrote in his book that the descent was much harder than the ascent and that every moment was torture. Years later, in 2014, 9 people lost their lives in a massive snowstorm and avalanche on Annapurna's northern slope, most of them experienced trekking guides and tourists. This incident demonstrated just how dangerous the Annapurna region can be, not only at the summit but even at base camps. Annapurna is a constant danger. At every step, there is a fine line between life and death. There is a saying among mountaineers, if you're climbing Annapurna, don't forget to write your death warrant. This is no exaggeration, it is the bitter truth. Kangchenjunga, located on the Nepal-India border, is the world's 3rd highest mountain at 8,586 meters. Its name means 5 great treasures of snow in Tibetan. It has 5 peaks, each considered sacred by the local people. These treasures represent gold, silver, precious stones, grain, and sacred books. But reaching these spiritual treasures could cost you your life. Climbing Kangchenjunga is extremely technical, long, and exhausting. The mountain's extremely isolated location makes rescue operations nearly impossible. If you have an accident here, you cannot wait for help to arrive, you must manage on your own or stay there. This psychological pressure adds to the physical challenges. The mountain's complex glacial structure includes deep crevasses and constantly shifting ice bridges. One wrong step could mean a fall of hundreds of meters. Additionally, weather conditions are extremely variable. Kangchenjunga lies directly in the path of monsoon winds, which cause sudden and violent storms. An interesting and beautiful detail: traditionally, climbers do not step on the actual summit, which is considered sacred by the local Sikkimese people, but stop a few meters below. This is a sign of respect, and this tradition has been upheld since the first ascent in 1955. That year, George Band and Joe Brown made the first ascent and stopped just short of taking the final few steps to the summit. They had made this agreement with the Maharaja of Sikkim. Kangchenjunga is also one of the mountains with the highest risk of avalanches. Huge loads of snow constantly accumulate on the rocks, and the slightest trigger, a sound, a movement, a change in temperature, can set off a deadly avalanche. In 1987, a mixed British-American team was wiped out in an avalanche. Especially during the monsoon season, this mountain is almost a suicide mission. Though it may appear calm and beautiful, Kangchenjunga is a silent killer. It guards its treasures and does not give them up easily. The highest point in North America, Denali, formerly Mount McKinley, in Alaska, 6,190 meters. You might think, only 6,000 meters. Everest is 8,800 meters, so why is Denali so difficult? The answer is simple: Denali's real difficulty lies in its extreme northern location and the extreme cold this creates. Here, temperatures can drop below -40 degrees Celsius, and the wind chill can reach -60 degrees Celsius or colder. This means you could freeze to death in a matter of minutes. Denali's high latitude, Alaska, very close to the Arctic Circle, significantly reduces atmospheric pressure. This means that 6,190 meters here feels like 7,000 or even 7,500 meters in the equatorial regions of the world. Oxygen levels are very low, and altitude sickness is a serious risk. The mountain's weather is incredibly variable and unpredictable. You can go from a sunny, calm day to a deadly white oak blizzard in an instant. In these storms, visibility drops to zero, you can't see your hand in front of your face. Finding your way in these conditions is nearly impossible, and getting lost means death. Climbers may have to wait in their tents for days, sometimes weeks, for the storm to pass. The West Buttress route is the most popular, but it is still extremely difficult. Sections such as Denali Pass, the Autobahn, Messner's Couloir, and the summit ridge are filled with deep crevasses, steep ice slopes, and extreme exposure. The crevasses on Kayla Glacier are particularly dangerous. Some are so deep that if you fall in, you will never be found. Each year, approximately 1,000 people attempt to climb Denali, but the success rate is only around 50%. That means 1 in 2 people has to turn back. Freezing temperatures, altitude sickness, low visibility, and storms are the greatest threats. Over 100 people have lost their lives on Denali since 1932. This cold giant is certainly not to be underestimated. Alaska's big mountain truly lives up to its name. Follow us to discover the mysterious mountains and forbidden regions of this world.